Good morning, Spurs fans. Today we are going to be covering the top 10 draft prospects for the 2025 NBA draft as of 1/19/2025. I say the top 10 because as of today, the Spurs are projected to go 10th based off of their record. We know that we will have Atlanta's pick as well, but Atlanta's playing some good basketball. So we're going to look at the top 10, starting with Cooper Flag. Now, do not be alarmed. His number, I believe, is number 2, but he is the number 1 overall prospect coming out of Duke. He's 18 years old, like just turned 18. He's playing 1 year ahead of everybody. If you don't know about Cooper Flag, he's already been invited to the NBA development combine for the USA team. He was the first player in about 10 years to have done that and the youngest, I believe. So he's playing with professionals already. He's got videos of crossing over Drew Holiday, shooting over Anthony Davis. So this dude's legit. If you look at his strengths, I mean, what can't he do? If you just really look at potential being a 10, I think that's going to be the biggest indicator. He's pretty big. He's 6'9", 205. I think that's the perfect build for the NBA in the modern game that we're playing. So definitely hope that we can get the number 1 pick and get Coop, but we'll see. We're playing too good of basketball to just get it outright based off of our record, but you never know what can happen in the NBA draft. So Cooper Flag, there's not really much to say about him other than he's an all-around great player. Defense being a 9 as well. I've seen highlights of him just not afraid to meet people at the rim, whether it be offensively or defensively. So he's projected to go number 1. We'll see who gets him. All right, so next up we have Dylan Harper. He is the son of NBA legend Ron Harper. He's a 6'6" point guard / shooting guard out of Rutgers. Him and Ace Bailey are teaming up this year at Rutgers. We can go into his he's a great player, all around good guard, big guard. I just think that we have Steph Castle, who's 6'5", I believe, who can be our point guard / shooting guard for the future. Steph Castle has proven that he has a pretty decent shot and he can be a floor general just in his rookie year. So, this would be a best player available situation for me if we had to, if we got an early pick and somehow Dylan fell down, because I see a lot of teams needing what he is. So the Spurs particularly not so much. Some of these players I'm not too familiar with, so if you guys have any information on them, please leave it in the comments below. Next up is Igor Demin out of BYU, a pretty big shooting guard. Look at 6'9", 200 pounds. There's no real attribute grades on him, but nonetheless, he is playing college ball. He's young, and he's up there on number 3. If I'm not mistaken, he moved up. No, he stayed the same. So I personally don't know much about him. If you do, please let me know. But with his size, sounds pretty good to me. If he's got number 3 potential. This is a really stacked draft class, so you're probably going to hear a lot of these names moving forward. Maybe not right away. Cooper, of course, most likely, but over the next 10 years, these names you're going to be hearing. So, or at least should be, barring injuries, of course. Ace Bailey, this is probably one of the ones I'm biggest on. He's listed at 6'9", but I think he's actually gone to 6'10" now. 200 pounds, shooting guard / small forward, so meaning, he can play that wing spot that, everybody wants to play nowadays, it seems, but he's got the size for it too. So his potential's high. His ball handling can use some work. So, I'm sure he's more of a maybe a post-up shooter. I haven't really watched these guys too much. I'm more of an NBA fan. Quickness, size, athleticism, everything looks good. Defense is even pretty good up there. So, strength. I have seen that he's pretty lanky. So, that comes with age. Kind of reminds me of Giannis a little bit. So, we'll see. I would personally love to have him. I think that he's just based off of the little that I've seen, he would be a really good complement to Wemby. And even on that defensive end, being somewhat of a twin tower, if he continues to grow, he's pretty tall. So next up, Trey Johnson out of UT, right down the road in Austin. I've heard a lot about him, and I didn't know he was going to be this high up. I think he's 5th out of the top 10. But I think, again, kind of like Dylan Harper, it's a position that we're really stacked at. I know our guards seem to be either on the smaller end with guards like Trey, and even Blake's a little bit. And I think Blake's 6'3", and then we also have taller guards. So we have so many to choose from. I think this would just kind of clog that guard play again. But again, best player available. If somehow he slides down, he does play very well, and he's a freshman. So and he's playing against really good teams. So big fan of him. His jump shot's a 9. You love to see that out of a guard, and his size too, 6'6", 190. I mean, guards nowadays are just really, really big. That's kind of the way the NBA is shifting. Curry was able to get shooting under his belt to kind of get away with his lack of height or compared to others. But it's different now. These guards are going back into the basket. They're driving and dishing, so they got to be big. Nolan Traore, there's no attributes on him, but I've been hearing of this kid for a couple of years now. Was really big on him until we got Steph Castle. I think I'm really big on Steph Castle being our point guard of the future. I think the success of a point guard, a lot of it relies on the trust of, hey, you have the reins. So Nolan is a Frenchman. I'm sure he has a connection to Wemby and taller, bigger than our other guards. So if there's an opportunity, again, best player available for me, Nolan is looking pretty good. So I'm seeing this number 2 on everybody. So I'm not sure what that means. If you guys can let me know, if it's something obvious, I apologize. Boogie Fland. I'll be honest, I've never heard of this guy, but he looks like he is a 6'2" point guard / shooting guard. Not gonna lie, small. Not short, because they're not short. They're 6'2", but NBA standards, those guards that are smaller and everything. I think we've been there, done that. I personally think that Trey, this will probably be his last season with us. There's just so many guards, and we need bigger guards. So pass, I guess. VJ Edgecombe, and if I eat crow on Boogie, I hope I do, man, because you are an Arkansas Razorback Pig Suey. All right, so VJ Edgecombe. I just did Pig Suey while doing Hook'em. That's ironic. Okay, so VJ Edgecombe, 6'5", 180, out of Baylor, right further down the road. 6'5", 180, point guard, shooting guard, falls in line with everything that I've said about those types of guards that we are already getting with Steph Castle. But hey, Steph Castle needs a backup, so maybe we do need to look ahead, because I don't think Blake Wesley and Trey Jones are going to be long term, and we can talk about that later. Asa Newell, I've heard this name. I'm very big on him because I think he's just all around hustle. I think he's very raw, even though he is 19. I mean, that's still very young. So it would probably be a G League situation with him a lot, but I personally believe that he has potential. So big guy, power forward that we need down there in the paint with Wemby. So, if we get him at, he's 9 or 10 right now, that would be good. And we're projected to have the 10th pick as of today. And, sorry about the name, but Kasparis Jakusionis, 6'6", 200 pounds, point guard, shooting guard. Not really many attributes on him. I believe he is from Lithuania, yes, and he is playing in, forgive me, the ACC maybe, the PAC. I'm not sure. No, not the PAC, the ACC. So hopefully, we kind of have this position already, so we will just see who the Spurs get. There's not really much on this guy. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this. If you have any information on any of these players that I did not mention, please let me know. I'd also like to know where you're from if you are a Spurs fan. I know there's a lot of international fans and whatnot. So don't forget to hit that like button, that subscribe button. Going to be coming out with more videos. Of course, the Spurs are, a couple games under 500. They play Miami today, Sunday, January 19th at 2 o'clock. We'll see. We all kind of knew this year was going to be better, but not perfect by any means. So we will see how they do. But hopefully they pull out a W, because then they go to Paris, I believe, to play against Indiana for the Paris game on Friday. So that should be pretty cool to see how that plays out, especially with Wemby being back home. So thanks for watching, guys. Go Spurs, go.